Hello everyone, it's IC here, and welcome to Top 10 Tuesday, and this week's video will be discovering top 10 favorite character actors. So here we go guys, number 10, Forrest Lewis. And Forrest Lewis was well known for his role as Officer Kelly in the Disney films The Shaggy Dog, Ask My Professor, and Son of Flubber. Number 9, Jack Elam. And Jack Elam was one of the well-known Western character actors, and he was in the movie Once Upon a Time in the West, and he was well known for being other great films like The Apple Dumpling Gang Rise Again, The Villain, Supporting Local Sheriff, Supporting Local Gunfighter, and much more. He also gets started on TV shows like Gunsmoke, Bonanza, Tales of Wells Fargo, The Virginian, and much more. Okay, so my number 8 is James Westerfield, and James Westerfield was best known in the movie On the Waterfront, and it's not one of my favorites, but I think you all know on what my favorite role of him is acting career. He was Officer Hanson with in the Disney movies, The Shaggy Dog, South Flubber, Ask My Professor, but he played a police officer in Man's Favorite Sport in that Rock Hudson movie, and yeah, he got started on shows like Green Acres, The Twilight Zone, The Andy Griffith Show, and Bonanza. Okay, number 7 is Jesse White, and Jesse White was best known in the movie Harvey in 1950 with Jimmy Stewart, and he was also in the 1972 remake of Harvey, with also Jimmy Stewart, and he was also in the Broadway play of Harvey too in the early 70s. So yeah, but Jesse White was known for making Maytag commercials from 1968 until the end of the 80s, and he was in movies like Pajama Party, The Cat in Outer Space, Looking for Love, and so much more. He also guest starred on some great TV shows the like Bonanza, The Andy Griffith Show, Twilight Zone. He also guest starred in That Girl and much more. So my number 6 is Charles Lane, and Charles Lane was best known as being over 430 films and TV shows over the years, and he did a lot, like 20 something films like in the late 1930s, and he was in well known films like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, The Music Man, Mad World, The Aristocats, and It's a Wonderful Life, and so much more. And he was also well known for his role as Homer Bedloe in the TV show Petticoat Junction, which was run from 1963 to 1970. But he only played that role for the first couple seasons, and then he suddenly disappeared. The character suddenly disappeared on us for some odd reason. But he was in some of Lucille Ball's shows, like appearances, like and some of the I Love Lucy and the first season of the Lucy Show, and the reason that Charles Lane quit appearing in the first after a couple episodes of the Lucy Show in the 1962 is because he had trouble remembering his own lines, but on that Lucille Ball show, but it didn't stop him from continuing to act for another until 1995, and he had lots of acting for it. He had 70. He had like a 65 year career in acting and showbiz. So anyway, my number 5 is Richard Deacon, and he was well known for playing Fred Rutherford in Leave It to Beaver, and as Mel Cooley in the Dick Van Dyke Show. And he also had a great career too, and he was in the movie Birds. It was also movies like That Darn Cat, Billy, John Goldfarb, Please Come Home, um, Know Me Mobile, and much more. Okay, everyone, my number 4 is it is Frank Cady, and Frank Cady was best well known for playing Sam Junker in the TV show Green Acres, Petco Junction, and Beverly Hillbillies, and he was one of the only main cast members that stayed on the whole run of both Green Acres and Petco Junction, and Beverly Hillbillies and Petco Junction and Green Acres were both directed by the same producers, and yeah, and Frank Cady would also appear in the movie Million Dollar Duck, which is a Dean Jones movie. He was also in a few episodes of the Andy Griffith Show, and he was and he was also in the Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet as Gus Williams and as a character actor before he went on to Petco Junction, and yeah, yeah, and he was a great actor, and he died back in 2012. So everyone, my number 3 is Herb Vigran, and Herb Vigran was in lots of films over the last several decades, and he was known for playing police officers, judges, you name it, and he guest starred on TV shows like I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched, The Andy Griffith Show, Bonanza, and so much more. So everyone, my number 2 is Bing Russell, and yes, he is Kurt Russell's dad, and he was known as the role of Deputy Foster in the Bonanza show during most of its run, but he didn't appear until the 3rd season of Bonanza as the deputy as being a deputy, and yeah. And but he not only that, but he was in a lots of great Western TV shows. He had some guest spots on shows like Gunsmoke, The Andy Griffith Show, and much more. And also he was in some Disney films like The Love Bug, The Love Bug, Computer War Tennis, Million Dollar Duck, The Apple Dumpling Gang, and much more. Bing Russell is also known he was in the fan club the Portland Mavericks, and he was a big baseball fan, and his son Curry played on a baseball team, and yeah, and but that wasn't until in the mid late 70s, I believe, but he was also in westerns like Rio Bravo with John Wayne, Good Day for Hanging with Fred MacMurray. Yeah, and he was also in The Magnificent Seven with Steve McQueen. Yeah, you name everyone. So yeah, Bing Russell is my second favorite character actor. So stay tuned for number 1 in just a few moments. And let's do a drum roll, everyone. Number 1, Harry Morgan. And Harry Morgan was best known for not 1, not 2, but 3 great TV shows. Actually 4 great TV shows, I take it back. He was in the TV show December Bride, 1954-1959, as Pete Porter. He was also And a year later, Pete and Gladys, 1960 and 1962, and but he got a little hiatus, and then he got from Dragnet, 1967, 1970, then and then in 1975 he joined the MASH cast members, and yeah, and Harry Morgan was on the MASH from 75 to 80 to a show's end in 83, and and for a short time he was also in the TV show, the spinoff of MASH, called After MASH, and it was with co-stars Jamie Farr and a few others, and yeah, and Harry Morgan not only had a great TV show career, but he was in countless of movies and TV shows, particularly some Disney films like the Apple Dumpling Gang, the Apple Dumpling Gang films, the Barefoot Executive, Charlie and the Angels, Snowball Express, you name it. He was also in great westerns like How the West Was Won, High Noon, and High Noon, How the West Was Won, Support Your Local Gunfire, Support Your Local Sheriff, and so much more. And he also was in the Shootist with John Wayne on John Wayne's last film, and yeah, and Harry Morgan guest starred on shows like The Untouchables, The Virginian, Gunsmoke, and much more. And thank you everyone for enjoying the video, and like the video everyone, and 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 tell me if I should do a part 2 on character on my top 10 favorite character actors, or maybe even do like top 20 in the near future, but you never know, guys. So thank you everyone for enjoying. Like I said, thanks for enjoying the video, and always, as always, keep going, growing, and happy wiggling. See you guys.